Good morning and welcome aboard. This is price action trading with the S&P 500 E-mini. We're getting all set up here. Normally be on the trading floor in Chicago, the trading pits at Saul's private booth, but now he is at an undisclosed location in Chicago. We're focusing on the S&P 500 E-mini, looking to do 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 trades during the morning session, and we do it in an orderly fashion and a teachable fashion. The S&P 500 E-mini is a very approachable commodities futures financial index. Consists of 500 stocks. It's represented by a price. The market, based on how it moves, goes up and down. It's a pretty good first place indicator of how the market is behaving. You have the opportunity to make money on the downside, the short side, the upside, the long side. You can put on and take trades off pretty easily as a new trader and certainly as an experienced trader. The trick is how to you define areas or areas that give you a better opportunity to make money and hold on to it based on your trading activity this morning. Saul is looking for a minimum trading profit of 2 points plus on his exit strategy on his trades. He generally has a 2-point stop, but that flexes also based on market action, activity, momentum, and follow through. So this is a teachable moment and an opportunity for traders to get better information by being part of the service. The better information part is Saul's proprietary scalping levels. These are areas for this morning's trade where Saul believes the market's going to make change, and making that change gives him, and ultimately you, we hope, an opportunity to zone in on those areas. He gives them out to you in audio. He's going to give them out to you shortly, so be prepared to write these levels down. Be prepared to write these levels down. That's key. It's going to give you a pivot, a price, and then other numbers, areas, prices in the S&P 500 E-mini on top and bottom of that pivot. These are the areas that he is looking at for today's trade. These are the areas where he looks to do his entries, exits, and stops based on price action, and where he believes it gives him an advantage over other traders based on this morning's trade, so he can book a profit and hold on to it in his, I don't know, trading bank, if you want to call it that. You're running a trading business, whether you think you are or not. I know we get people in here that are doing it as a serious hobby, but this is a trading business with you as the talent and well, think about it. You're the talent in your trading business. So if you can't pull it off, who's going to do it? So we're here to help you bridge the gap between being new and developing consistent profitability, or being an experienced trader that really wants to buckle down and learn how to develop consistent profitability or gain profitability, based on their trading, and make it their own. So that's what we do here every trading day. And that's the opportunity that presents itself to you as we move forward today with the morning session. If you would like to join us and be part of this on a monthly basis, raise your hand and I'll send you out an opportunity to sign up and be part of Saul's Monthly. That's the stepping stone here from being a guest into a monthly. Hey, Glenn, how are you? Good morning. Hey, Jim, how are you? Jim F. My eyes are going a little bit here. It's a long weekend. It's a very fun weekend, but it was a long weekend. A lot of indoor activity. The game certainly was interesting. We ended up getting a larger TV than the smaller TV that we had, and I just still need to get a sound bar. Sound bar I'm looking for is too expensive for me, so I have to convince my bride. So I'm working on it. I was actually surprised how much they are. I mean, they're all different types. This was a Sonos one, and that's the one that I wanted to get. I'm not sure it's.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me all right? All right. Fantastic. Monday, February 8th. If you are anywhere in the Midwest in the United States, it is freaking cold outside. I mean, we're minus degrees here. It's a little too chilly for me. Can't even the house is cold. Anyway, just trying to stay warm. It's the only thing I can say. Hopefully it happens. All right, let's give you our levels for this morning. Our pivot this morning is 38.96. 38.96. Resistance above at 01. 09. 15. 21 and 28. Support below 87. 80. 74. 68. 61. Pivot 38.96. Support 87. 80. 74. 68. 61. Resistance at 01. 09. 15. 21 and 28. All right. Well, we gotten a little bit above Friday's range, kind of holding above Friday's range. So we'll see how this works out today. Remember, these levels on the upside, not very weak compared to other levels where we'd have some technical support and or resistance to help us out. But because we're hitting all-time highs here, they got to take those levels with a grain of salt and make sure you keep your stops in, because you never know when a rush of stops will come flying into the market. All we can do is trade the market and try to take the opportunities when they present themselves. So welcome some of the new folks that are here. We are trading mini S&Ps here, and we're trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market as the market go up and down, goes ups and go. The markets go up and down, but we don't believe they go in a straight line. So consequently, we're looking for those opportunities where we can scalp the market. Thank you there, Don. Oh, close on a couple of them. All right, so that's what we try to do here. Try to take it, and we're scalping the market basically for 2 to 3 points on our trades, and those opportunities occur because we feel that these levels create the market gives us those opportunities via price action, via old support and resistance, value areas, all kinds of different opportunities to trade. And given the reasons, we have multiple reasons all the time why we are trying to look for opportunities to trade. And if you have multiple reasons to put on to execute a trade, then it gives you more confidence in your ability to find those trades and trade them. That's what we try to do here on an everyday basis. We are scalping the market basically for 2 to 3 points, given volatility. These days, 2 to 3 points seems as a doable amount, and also allows you to stay in a trade to keep you from um, losing it, to take care of the slippage that's involved sometimes. That's funny, Maureen. That's hilarious. All right, we're just kind of floating around here, trying to see what we're going to do. Again, this is unemployment day after Monday after unemployment, which has been historically a slow trading day, but you never know. That's why we trade. You just never know when those opportunities are going to present themselves and give us a chance to scalp the market. And again, everything's been quiet. The volume overnight has been light, so you got to just tone down your expectations a little bit. And as long as that's what we're expecting, then we should be okay, right? I mean, unfortunately, we can't create trades for us. We have to let the market create the trades for themselves. But what we can do is get ready. We give our levels here, and they become guidelines to our trading for the day. And we go from there. Yeah, all we can do is let the market kind of say, all right, what's going to happen? If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. If not, that's all right. Anyway, we're just floating back here to our pivot and kind of not doing much. If you are a little aggressive there, maybe you did jump in. Don, I just want to thank you for helping me out on Friday. Heard you were a big hit. You keep my friend Brad entertained all day long. You're a gentleman and a scholar way beyond my expectations, because I could never do that. All right, kind of just floating around pivot area. If you did go, if you're aggressive against our blue band there, if you were looking for a trade, maybe you jumped on it. It's been very, very extremely light trade. See if there's any fundamental news that might jolt us a little bit. Sorry to say, there is nothing coming out today. It's only a Fed speak at 11 o'clock Chicago time. That's about it. What trades are we looking for? Well, we got support at 87 and resistance up here at 01. That's kind of what we're looking for, at least initially. If you were using part of our some of our setups that we have, maybe it was a little bit of a buy there when it dipped down to the pivot area at 96. If you had a reason to buy it, maybe you could have gotten long there and tried to scalp the market when it popped up here a couple points. We we try to make sure that for every opportunity that you are trading, that we have reasons to trade. And I show in our education course various reasons why you should be trading. Now, so then at that point, it's a matter of each individual's risk tolerances as to what trades he or she would like to take. Well, the pivot point is basically an area where the market is going to trend up or trend down from. We use the pivot also as a trading tool if the market, if things kind of fall into place with different technical reasons that we can buy or sell it. Well, again, all depends on the market at that moment in time and how the market is reacting. But it's just a situation where you open up the trade and the market kind of gives us a reason maybe to stay long or stay short. Again, it's all dependent on price action. A lot of that stuff is dependent on the price action, how it reacts around the pivot, how it reacts around some of our levels. Is just a guide, is starting point to where how we're looking for as far as trades are concerned. If we can repeat the levels, if you missed the levels, they're going to be printed up in the chat box area here in just a second. There they are. Thanks a lot. Everybody's doing fine there, Mark. Thanks a lot again for going out of your way there. That was very nice. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, people, it was expected. He got diagnosed with some cancer a little while ago. So most of our trades based on the 5 minute, not the hourly. Well, most of our trades based on not all of them, but at least intraday, we use 5 minutes to kind of also tell us how long we should stay in a trade. And again, different people out there use different. They have different risk tolerances, so some trade off of the hourly, depending on what your goals are and how much your stops are and how much risk you're willing to take. But since we're scalping the market, I think the 5 minute gives us a good opportunity to stay in a trade and to find those trades. Some of our traders we have use a 3 minute when it's slower, and they kind of like to use that. I just feel that we keep things. I like to keep things a little bit more simplified here and keep it straightforward instead of trying to have too many charts up there to kind of confuse us. Because if you look at each chart, one thing could tell you one thing, and another chart could tell you another thing. So instead of confusing our brains and trying to second guess yourself, we just kind of keep it. Have these two charts up, and then depending on how much risk you can use other charts as well. I'm here just to kind of add different concepts and ideas to people's trading. If you're an experienced trader and you've done this for a while, we'll probably have some different ideas that maybe you could use to add to your arsenal of setups that you'd like to find. It's also a trading room that we've opened up here because I've traded up in my office and it was very quiet, and I just didn't like the quietness of an office with nothing going on, considering I've come out of the trading pits, and was always around people and noise, and uh, even when things were slow, at least you could discuss things, with throw things, some different ideas, or just simply talk. And this is why we opened a trading room, and we, like, again, we whether you're a new experienced trader or a new trader here, welcome. And I think we can add something to your arsenal of trades to help with trying to make a little bit of money every day. Because a little bit of money every day at the end of the week, at the end of the month, adds up to a lot of money, especially in this business. All right, again, if you did buy the pivot again on the rotation back down to it, you're getting paid off here. Was there a reason for it? You could have made a reason to dip your toe down there. Absolutely. Yeah, we are always layering different reasons to enter into a trade, to find the setup. We're not just just trading for the hell of trading. We'd like to have layer in reasons to buy or sell, and some reasons are obvious. The levels that we gave out are obvious reasons, but then there's price action opportunities that occur. Once the market paints some bars, we could, again, depending on volatility and how much is traded, you could use the overnight stuff as a guide sometimes, but given that traded very light overnight, it's kind of hard to delay. And it's been, put too much emphasis. We don't put too much emphasis on the overnight trade. That's all I can say. But once the market paints the bars after 8:30, you can get a little bit better idea of what the market might do and what levels might hold a little bit better than the overnight stuff. Again, only because the light volume overnight is a little deceiving for giving us good trading opportunities. So don't hold depend on the overnight levels or work to to give you good solid opportunities, but they're there. So all right, so that, again, the Monday after unemployment has notoriously been a slow day. Reacted well, as you can see. We pretty much range bound trade there on Friday. That's usually the case for unemployment. It usually doesn't really do much, so it just kind of hangs around. It gets an initial move, and then they kind of pull the plug, which is, again, what they did. They had a little bit of action at the close, which is normal for a Friday, and also normal for you. That's another reason why we don't like to trade at the end of the day. We focus more on the morning hours. We feel that there's more traders trading in the morning hours. There's more volatility in the morning hours that work our way as the day goes on, and the trade in the afternoon proceeds. It becomes a little bit less. Doesn't trade as well technically, and for the things that we do. So, that's why most of our work is done here in the morning hours versus the late afternoon hours, even late morning hours sometimes, because it just gets so slow. All right, so we're slowly inching up here again. A little resistance again. Remember, all these levels up on the upside here are all-time highs, so you got to take them with a grain of salt. Trade them. Understanding that is what's going on. So keep your stops in. Again, there's no levels up here to kind of hold the market down or up, and so you got to just trade them. They're done. The levels up here done through a little Fibonacci's, trend lines, so stuff like that are not as reliable as previous support and resistance areas that the market has created. As we're always looking at the market, what what it has done in the past to give us trading opportunities. So when the market's up at all-time highs, there's obviously no levels up here to do that. So as long as we understand the risk, then you can enter the trades. And some of our traders, don't like to trade these newer highs. Others are looking for trades. Like I said, the could have bought the pivot there a couple times and had a good reason for it. It's not always that you have to buy the pivot, but in this situation, the way the market set it up, there was a reliable reason for us to enter into that trade. But remember, volume is very light, so expectations today are not as high. Let's give you, as the market decides what it wants to do up here, let's give you some. So we inched up there really, really close to our entry point, but probably did not get it. I don't know if anybody got him up there at the 0.5. See what it wants to do again as the market is hanging up here at the highs. Again, we scale in. Some of our traders scale in a half a point above and below. Some are scaling a point above and below. Some are scaling even more than that. It all depends on how much risk you are willing to take and what your goals are and how you trade it around the level. So obviously, if you got in there at the 3,900 level, you're getting paid off here a little bit. Not everybody enters trades the same way. Not everybody exits trades the same way. If you did sell the 98 there and point around there, a point above or below, you're getting paid off here a little bit. So again, there's different ways of entering a trade around a level. Doesn't mean that one person is right and one other person is wrong. It just means that everybody does it a different way. 2 to 3 points, depending on volatility. These days, probably 2 to 3 points is a good number. Under 2.5, something like that. 3 points would probably be good. We usually will give us that same amount of profit targets as well, depending on how many contracts you trade and if you got into a level or not, and how you get out of them. You could probably take a little bit more profit than 2 or 3 points as well, depending again on the risk that each individual has taken. And like I said, not everybody trades the same. So we have to keep that in mind. If we can repeat the levels that I gave out this morning in the chat box, if those of you who just walked in or just came in, if you look at the chat box area, the levels are printed in there for you. Those are the levels that we're going to use as a guide for the day. As the market's coming up here and coming to retest this 01 area again, depending on how much risk you want to take, if you're going to stay with the trade or not, especially since we just missed some of you by a tick. Maybe you could take the upper end of the range if you make it a little bit of an adjustment, or some of you might cancel it altogether. Everybody's got, again, like I said, different risk tolerances, so we understand that and give you different ideas as to how to manage a trade once we get up to a level and how it reacts around it. And then your decision as an independent trader is to make those decisions on your own so that you can take advantage of that situation. As we've come up here to the 01 area. Again, if you are adjusting your entry point, if you kept it the same, it's all up to you. If you cancel it, again, it's all up to you. I just try to explain the risks involved and then consequently let you make those decisions. And like I said, the reason that we're here is because everybody trades differently. Nobody trades the same. I've been around a lot of great traders, and I've seen a lot of traders trade, and I can honestly tell you, I can't do the things that they do, and some of them can't do the things that I do. So it's pretty much, it all depends on how what the market is, what you perceive the market to, the information the market is giving you. I just try to help you explain it there. As we have a nice rotation there off of our 01 entry point. Took no heat on that whatsoever. If you just played the 01 level straight up, or if you got in at 0.5, you're getting paid off here as well. So nice little rotation there off of our 01 resistance level. Again, if you were thinking about what I was doing, that's a resistance, so I'm selling that area and getting a nice little rotation there off of it. Hopefully you were able to take advantage of that trade. And it's a good way to start the on a Monday, considering it's kind of looks like it's going to be a little slow today. All right, so 01 level worked nicely here, and we'll see what happens. Well, again, hopefully, if you're trying to stay short, to have a trailing stop. Obviously, you need to trade multiple contracts for that. You don't want to just trade in one lot, get your profit target, and then not take the trade and not take your profit. But if you're trading multiple contracts, you can scale out of some, take profits, have a trailing stop, and see if we can take a little bit more than a couple points on some of these trades, but only on extras that you have. Don, you forgot about the blue band. Did I have any reaction to my shot? I did not actually. I was fine with it. What blue band? I know you're colorblind, Don. I do. I appreciate that. Yeah, most of the ones that are out now always need a second round. So I get mine in a month. I picked the Moderna. I got the Moderna one. So you get that in my second one in a month. Now that one's supposed to give you some side effects or something. I don't know. We'll see. My daughter, who's a teacher, and her husband, who's a principal, they actually got theirs this weekend in the school system that we have up here. So that they work at. Obviously, they don't work in the Chicago public schools because they're creating such an uproar. But yeah, so they got in. They didn't have any effects, and they were here. They actually came to our house yesterday to watch the game because it's the first time we've actually seen them. They feel like they can get out of the house a little bit. They've been so quiet. Nobody's seen them lately. No, Chicago actually has opened up a little bit. We were shut down. Chicago was shut down early, a couple months ago. They were really, the numbers were bad, and then as soon as a couple weeks after the numbers were bad, they started getting better, and now we're actually opening up more in Chicago anyway. All right, again, if you're trying to stay short here, take a little bit more than well, we got 3 points and something here right now. If you want to do a little bit, if you have multiple contracts and you want to stay a little bit short, try to do that. So yeah, so the Chicago is kind of opening up, kind of the converse of what you think's going on. All right. So nice trade there to start the day. And again, on a very slow day, probably. I don't know. You never know, right? That's why we're trading. You never know what's going to happen. All right, so we're just kind of a little range bound over here. Wow, this is how slow it is. There's not even like anything to talk about business wise. All my bullet points are like stupid stories. I can't even like repeat them to you. They're so dumb. Nothing. Wow, this is how slow this day is. That's okay. That's all right. We made a nice little trade to begin our day against our 01 here. Again, took no heat on it whatsoever. Again, we're not gonna. Once a level has been used, we don't usually take it second time around. Again, only if you're exceptionally aggressive. As far as the football game was concerned, it was really. I mean, first half was okay, and then you thought it was going to be exciting. The second half of Kansas City was going to do something, but oh my God, that turned out to be a dud. The halftime show was not that good. I didn't even know who that guy was. Everybody's like telling me he's so popular. I had no idea who he was. Did everybody know who that guy was? Because I sure as hell didn't know that. I never even knew that. I never knew his name. And not only that, but I couldn't even hear him too well. I thought the acoustics were terrible. I don't know. Okay, so I had the wrong team, but doesn't mean I did not enjoy the game. And it just wasn't any good. The halftime show is not good. I guess maybe it's just the times that we're in. There seems to be a lot of people out there though in the stands. I mean, the couple times that they showed the stands, seemed that they were pretty close by each other. Considering they're supposed to be spread apart. I don't know. All right, so we're again kind of floating back up there. Retested that 01, inched up a little bit above it, come back down. Very, very slow. Hey, you have to be very aggressive there if you did take it. I I actually did Don because of you. I adjusted a little bit. All right. So now we're just kind of hanging here. And again, very, very, very quiet. We had a nice rotation there off of our 01 area. All right. So now we're just kind of, again, coming back up here, going to retest these highs. Again, next level of resistance that we have is the uh, 09 area. Sometimes we get, we're going to have opportunities galore, and other times we're just going to have to take what the market gives us. We are definitely at the take what the market gives us moment right now. And we had a nice little quick opportunity there against our 01. If you were a little aggressive early on, you maybe bought the pivot there at the 96 area. Um, Now, once the market opened up, again, you had reasons to take it. I'm not just saying that you just took it because it's our pivot. That's not how we trade around here. Next level on the upside, we have, like I said, is 09, and kind of be patient, see what it wants to do around there. Right now, if you want a little support against the 98 area, All right, just kind of hanging on the top here, seeing what it wants to do on the highs on the top. It's very good. Anybody have any questions, please feel free to jot them down in the chat box area. I'll be able to see them and get back to you on them. And so what we're trying to do here is to help you understand what we're trying to do, and obviously have opportunities to trade if we can get them. But we can only, we are definitely at the mercy of the markets and volatility that comes from it. We don't create our own volatility, that's for sure. That would be the worst thing we can do. So having patience and waiting for the market to give us the opportunities is what's important. And we had early on, we had a quick trade off of the morning where we could have bought the 96 area. And then after that, we came up to our 01 resistance area, and we were able to take that opportunity there. Our Bollinger Bands are based on 21 and 22 parameters. We like to double them up there just to so I can see the lines. Ooh, what was that? Yeah, just so I can see it, just to make sure I can they brighten up my charts a little bit. All right. Again, a good time to ask questions if anybody has them. Definitely like questions, especially when it's slow like this. All right, coming down here finally, and maybe a little support, maybe a little support if you're a little aggressive down in here. But it's just quiet. It's just quiet. Again, depending on how aggressive you want to be. Again, if you dip your toe in here around the 98 area, again, paid off just a little bit here. We said we had a little support there at 98. Got down to 98 and a quarter there. Again, if you did take it, I mean, we're not going to be perfect, right? You're buying an area. That's why we scale in around an area. So if you did jump in there, maybe 98 and a half, anywhere in that range, you maybe 99 even, you getting paid off here a little bit. Again, depending on how much risk you want to take. And you get a nice rotation there off of that level. Again, we're just trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. We're looking for those opportunities the market presents itself with using the price action. Obviously, today's price action is muted, and the opportunities are going to be less. But again, we're always at the mercy of the market and the volatility that is associated with it. Sometimes we're going to get more volatile markets, and sometimes it's going to just be slow. And again, it's not surprising given the fact that it is a Monday after unemployment, and these have been notoriously slow markets. But we did have a nice couple opportunities, like I said earlier, and maybe you did buy them down here when it went to the 98 area. Sure. Can we repeat the levels in the chat box area for those of you who might have missed it? If you look at the chat box area, they are there. Well, I mean, we got down to 98 there, Don, and I mean, what more? I mean, we're talking about a 3-tick range for heaven's sakes. Don always looking for movements. That's all I can say. I hope everybody had a good trading day with Don. I didn't hear anything negative, only positive comments. So, Don, thanks again for hanging out, filling in for me. Always does a great job. Are you kidding? He's one of a kind. So I guess there was a some kind of idiotic person that ran on the screen on the field yesterday towards the end of the game. If anybody listened to the radio broadcast, they replayed the radio broadcast of the guy. The radio announcer was great. He was great on uh, describing that incident. So somebody should try to listen to the radio announcer as he described that incident of the guy running onto the field at the end of the game. What happened to the guy? Well, they tackled him at the goal line, and they, pretty much. What are you going to do with these idiots? They probably threw him in jail for whatever they throw him in jail for, running on the field when there's a game going on. All right, Don. There you go. You got your 97. You should be happy now. Coming back down here to our pivot. Support on the downside is at at 87. Again, seems like our pivot might want to try to hold. But this time around, it's a little bit more riskier than it was earlier. But did nice rotation there off of our pivot. First time to it. She did jump in. It did okay. All right, well, we floated back down to our pivot area there and came back up. A little aggressive there if you did take it, but you getting paid off. I wouldn't do it this time around anymore. If we could repeat the levels in our chat box area for us. If you missed our levels we gave out this morning, these are levels that we gave out when the market opened up. And we kind of use those as a guide as the day goes on. And sometimes we'll obviously trade around those areas. We did have a little resistance up there at the 01 and had a nice rotation off of it. We drifted down to our pivot a couple times here, and they've been profitable for us if you did jump in and buy them. Again, this time around was a little bit different than the previous time, but it did pay off if you took it. And now we're just kind of trying to see what it wants to do. Are we going to go back to the highs, or are we going to maybe stay in this range that we've been at most of the morning hours here? We'll see. Again, we are trading many S&Ps here, and we're definitely at the mercy of the volatility in any given day or in any given market, for that matter. We feel, though, that the S&Ps do give us opportunities once the market decides to move around, and it will. Obviously, when the markets are going up, the volatility is just sucked out of the market. I don't know why. What's the VIX trading at? If somebody can tell me what the VIX is trading at, probably in the low 20s, I would assume. But that's usually a 21.68. Very, very low number. We get into the high teens, they're really going to suck out the premium out of these markets. And but again, as long as we know that, you pick your spots, be patient. Maybe instead of, we try to get 4 or 5 trades during the course of a day. Average, I think we'll probably get 4 or 5 trades overall, but maybe not today, right? Maybe today it's going to be a little less, and for multiple reasons. One is it's a Monday after unemployment. Another reason is that we're all-time new highs, and typically what happens when the markets push up to all-time highs, the volatility gets sucked out of the market. Traders like markets when they go down. I don't know why, but they do. And well, we do know why, because the volatility is there, the movement is there, the ebbs and flows are there. For when markets go up, they just seem to just trug along, slow, not much of a, not much of anything. So that's what we do here on an everyday basis. Obviously, some days are more active than others. We've had a few. I mean, again, it all depends on how aggressive each trader wants to be. If you're just using our levels, we only got triggered on the L1. If you are a little bit more aggressive and took some price action opportunities, we did have a couple opportunities there against our pivot areas that um, turned into some nice buying opportunities. Again, this is all dependent on how aggressive each trader wants to be, and that's basically what's transpired today. So again, depending on how aggressive you wanted to be, maybe you could have had 3 trades, maybe 4 if you resold the level above and the rotation back up there if you were a little bit more aggressive. Again, the point here is that everybody's got different risk tolerances, and that's what we are trying to help you decide. If you're part of our course here, we talk about each individual. I talk to each individual and try to figure out what their risk tolerances are and maximize their profit potential based on that. Some of you obviously are going to be a little bit more aggressive, some not, and that's fine. Everybody's got different levels of visualizing things and also levels of understanding what risks are and how much they want to take. That's what we're here to try to explain to you, and then that determination as to which trades you're going to take falls upon yourself. All right, we seem to have drifted back into the range that we've been at for most of the morning. Again, good time to ask questions if anybody has any. Obviously, only because there's not much going on, and good time to ask questions.
Hey, quick shout out to Jim F. Hey, Jim, did you send an email in? Just let me know if that was in because you had a pretty good question. And I just want to make sure that if you post it here, so I'll answer it. That's for Jim F. Hey, Jim, when you get a chance, just use the chat feature. Hey, Jim, that's great. So you can post your question when you're ready, and Saul will review it and be able to answer for you. Hey, Tim M, welcome. Michael R, welcome. Hey, Luis S, welcome. Hey, Jeremy, welcome back. Harvey G, welcome. Welcome back. For those that are just coming in as guests, we're here on a daily basis. For those that are joining us on the outside of Zoom, join us on the inside. Look for the link. It's PIT, P-I-T, all one word, IQ, pitiq.tv. Join us on the inside. Register for Zoom and you'll get a email to come in. And you can join us on the inside. Hey, Saul, are you still there? Or, Saul might, oh no, I think I see him in the background.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt you. Yeah, yeah.
But
On a roll.
you want me to pop in for about 5 minutes and then
Well,
you
let
can
me answer
answer
his
Jim?
question.
Okay.
So the question is here, what is the starting point? I'm not sure when to get in. Also, after markets reaches the support or resistance area, when do second or third areas come into play? So it's a good question. Obviously, the levels that we give out and the opportunities that the market presents us with are, the levels we get out are a guideline. Obviously, they're good support and resistance levels that we use all day long. And once you have to be pretty much in the market before the level gets triggered for you to have a chance to be able to trade it, because sometimes if you're waiting for some confirmation when we get to a support or resistance level, you might miss the opportunity to get in. So obviously you need to believe in the levels so that you could trade them accordingly. But once you've entered into a trade, you try to work the trade and try to take like I said, 2 to 3 points profit and keep that same amount of risk and on each trade. So you're getting in, well, at least you're placing your orders into the market before the level gets triggered. That way you don't have a lot of people have get a little nervous with the opportunity when the trade presents itself, whether it be a level that we give out or maybe a price action opportunity that somebody might have, and they are waiting for confirmation for a trade to get themselves into the trade. We try to take that angst of placing that order away by saying, okay, you got to layer in your trade before it gets there. That way, when it gets there, you're involved. You already have your reasons for the trade prior to entering your trade into the ladder ticket. And as long as your reasons are reasonable and justifiable and make sense to the work that we do, then you should feel confident in placing your orders in before the market gets to that level. And it doesn't matter if it's a price or resistance level or if it's a price action opportunity. I did say earlier on that you're trying to buy the 96 level because it's our pivot. So, when the market was trading up at 01 or 02, you had your order in at 96 because it's our pivot. At least that's a reason for it. Not always the case, depending on price action. But if you use that logic today, or if you use that logic at this moment, that's a reason for trading, then it's fine. Again, there's times when that logic or that reason is not justifiable, but in this situation it was. As long as you have a reason for entering your trade, then you put that trade in, and then you kind of let the market get to that level and then trade around it. So that's what I try to do is, what I know that a lot of traders have the same problem where they're nervous to place an order into the market. Again, I try to take that nervousness away from you or out of you, so that you find a level, you trade the level, you place your orders in there before the market gets there, and that way you don't think about it, you don't second guess yourself. If you have enough confidence in your ability to find the setup, then you'll be able to place that order before it gets there and be able to trade it once it gets there. Now, not all the setups are going to work. That's why you have your stops in there. So that's the logic as far as how you, when it gets to an area, and then how you trade it. Yes, Peter, today we're going to have our class at 12 o'clock. So, and the second part of your question there, so the second or third time an area comes into play is different. I mean, those are different risk opportunities. There's different risks involved with those, and it all depends on the price action. And again, it all depends on the price action and when you would want to place those orders. So 96 to 01. Well, again, we're not trying to go from 96 to 01. We're trying to get 2 to 3 points on our trades. Just so happens that it's doing that right now, but that's not the point. But that's not the objective here, is to scalp the market. So taking 2 to 3 points, and if you bought 96, that's fine, and you take 2 to 3 points out of the trade, that's great. If it goes to 01, okay, it's no big deal. You made some money. So when does the 09 come into play? Well, the 09 is in play already. I mean, that's our next resistance level. We have resistance up there in 09. If the market decides to continue to rally, we think that there might be a little bit of resistance up there against the 09. So my orders are already placed in around the 09 area right now. Is the market going to get up there? I have no idea. No clue. Was the market going to go back down to the 96? I had no idea either. I have no clue. I had no clue what the market's going to do. The point is that the 96 is a support level. At least it was before it came down there last time. And if it goes back down there again, I don't know if I'd use it. It becomes a little bit more risky. 01 is a stop. What does that mean? Stop as far as what? Because you're long at 96. You're not gonna. There's no stop up here. 01 is. Yeah, I don't know what 01 is a stop mean. Anyway, but yeah, so my orders are to sell up there at 09. And right now, if I had a place to buy it, I would probably not use the 96 anymore. I would probably look. I mean, obviously, the strong support level is all the way down at 87. That's my next support level. There are some other price action opportunities if you're a little aggressive. If the market goes back down there, that we could talk about. But for the time being, I would only use the 87 for support as the next support level, only because we've tested the 96 a couple times. So right now, my next opportunity, I think, is as far as 09 is 09 is concerned, I'd look to sell that. If I was looking for a buy area right now, probably the 98 area is where I would look as a buying opportunity if we come back down there. Otherwise, right now in the middle, I'm not doing anything. If long at 96 and look for 09, that's not what I'm looking for. That's not. I wouldn't be looking at 09 for. I'm looking for 2 to 3 points. So if we buy 96 and I get to 99, I'm selling my 99s. If it goes up to 09, fantastic. Then I'd look to sell it up at 09. If you bought, so again, if you are trading our levels and you bought the 96, would you be targeting 01 and selling it there? Yes. If you wanted to stay long, yes. So again, we're scalping the market, right? We're trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows. We don't know where the market's going to go. I'm not going to tell you the market's going to go up to 09. That's not what we do here. We're trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows. So taking 2 to 3 points on our trades is what we're trying to do here. The market has to give us those opportunities. If they give us the opportunities to find levels where we can get in and scalp it, whether you're getting short or long, that's what we're trying to do to get 2 or 3 points. So we're not, again, different traders trade different ways. I mean, if you wanted to take 4 or 5 points on a trade, you could. You have to be able to understand the risk involved and then to trade it accordingly. But for what we try to do, we're looking for 2 to 3 points with multiple opportunities to trade, maybe 4 or 5 times. If you trade less and you're trying to take more, I get it, right? I get those parameters as well. If you're trying to position trade, where you're looking one with market to do one thing, and you either buy it or sell it, and it happens to go that way or your way, that's great. If it doesn't, you have a bigger stop. That's okay too. I mean, look, there's multiple ways to trade here. Different ways, different risk tolerances that each individual takes or has, different ways they look at markets. I'm just kind of here to kind of help you maybe think about markets in a little different way and try to adapt your risk tolerances to our thinking and try to scalp the market instead of looking at, again, doesn't mean that somebody doesn't want to have 5 to 10 points targets, and we could do that too, but your entry points and your scaling in has to be a little bit different, adjusted to meet your goals. But like I said earlier, there's multiple ways to trade these markets. There's not one right way, one wrong way. Uh, Everybody's got different risk tolerances. Everybody's got different goals. We try to work within I try to work with each individual to try to maximize those goals and try to minimize the risk. That's what we're trying to do here, so that we can make a little bit of money here every day, and make sure we come back tomorrow. That's always been the goal of anything that we do here. Right. And okay, so yes, we're getting 2 to 3 points, and usually when the markets are moving around a little bit, you get our other levels get triggered quicker. And also in those situations, not only do the other levels get triggered quicker, but we might have to expand our stops a little bit and expand our profit targets a little bit. So when the markets are slow like they are today, where 2 to 3 points is a justifiable number to stay and to try to achieve. When the markets get a little bit more volatile and move around a little bit, maybe 2 to 3 points become 4 to 5 points. And maybe you need to, if that's too much risk for you, to lower the number of contracts that you trade to adapt to the risk that's out there. The point is that once the volatility comes back in the market, we have to adjust the price targets as well as the profit targets as well, because you're going to adjust your stops, because the volatility is going to sometimes run through levels a little bit more than they would when it's slower like this. When it's slower like this, it's not as volatile, and you could do 2 to 3 points. But when it gets a little bit more volatile and the volatility comes back into the market, your stops and your profit potential have to be increased a little bit, so that you can take into account the volatility that's in the market. Obviously, today things are slow. 2 to 3 points is achievable. If we have targets of 4 to 5 points in a day like today, it's not reasonable and maybe not achievable, and you're taking too much risk for the market in these slow markets to even it's not worth the risk. All right, good questions. Again, we like questions here. You need to understand what we're trying to do here, and if we can try to help you out in any way, we are here to help you out. We trade every day, mini S&Ps. If we can repeat the levels in the chat box area, if some of you are coming in a little bit late, we start here at 8:30 when the market opens up, and hopefully we can get the levels in the chat box area momentarily. If not, I can give you the levels. Our pivot this morning was 38.96. Resistance at 01, 09, 15, 21, and 28. Support below at 87, 80, 74, 68, and 61. Our pivot is determined by the price action that the market creates. So we don't have any kind of equation that gives us our pivot. So we kind of let the market kind of dictate what our pivot is going to be. Chad, are you in the room? From the previous day? No, it's not. Every day is a different day. But there's no equation here that figures it out for us. We take what the market gives us every day and every morning, and kind of go from there. Chad, are you here? Are you still around? Just want to see you. We give the pivot right when we give our levels out, and the pivot also included in that right when the market opens up. We give our levels out, and if I repeated the levels for everybody. If you need another repetition of the levels, ask, and I'll give them to you again. Again, the levels that we gave out are kind of a guide for the whole day. We don't know when we're going to get a little bit more volatile or not. All right, we never know, and we just have to. We are at the mercy of volatility in any given day, and obviously today is one of those. Um, uh, Days where we're at the mercy of lack of opportunity, but we've had a few. Can't complain. And next, I mean, as the market turns over here a little bit, really our next good support level will be all the way down at the 97. If you're a little aggressive, maybe you want to take the pivot, but again, the pivot's been used a few times, so I'd be a little bit careful there around the pivot this time around. It could work, but it's a lot more risky. Chad, are you in the room or can you hear me? Again, if anybody has any questions, good time to ask. We like questions here. We trade many S&Ps. We're scalping the market. We're trying to take 2 to 3 points on our trades with the same amount of risk, and that all depends on volatility for any given day. Sometimes, again, like I said, it's a little bit more. Sometimes it's a little bit less. No, it's not less. 2 to 3 points is our minimum. But definitely our stops and our profit targets could be adjusted to market conditions and volatility. And we talked about the VIX being around 21, and that is very low. As you can see here, the lower the VIX, less volatility. After all, it is a volatility index. So, and usually when markets go up, like they are right now, the volatility gets sucked out of the market, and there's less volatility. And that's why traders, most traders, I should say, like it when markets go down. They like the volatility that's associated with the price action. Yes, I did, Chad. I just want you to know that we're going to have a class later this afternoon at 12, in case you were around and are able to join us. If you're busy, I get it. We'll set up another time for you. That's fine also, but I just wanted you to know that we're going to have a class later on. Gravity falls quicker. Yeah, well, that's from a physics point of view, that's true. I don't know if that applies to trading, but we could bring science into this. After all, maybe it is a science. But I don't, I don't know what the reason is. I'm just telling you that over the years, and it has been true, even in the bond market when I was trading on the floor, that traders like markets going down. We get a lot more action, a lot more opportunity. There's more trading that comes in. There's more liquidity. I don't know what the reason that could be that the markets tend to they suck out the volatility when they go up. That is still a question that I have not been able to answer in all my years of trading. I just accept it. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I accept, and that's one of them that I accept, that you have to accept without giving much explanation. Fear is stronger than greed. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've seen a lot of greedy people. I'll tell you that much. I'll tell you that much. I've seen a lot of greedy people trading. So I don't know. There's always a saying in the business is that pigs go to slaughter. And sometimes some of these traders, you give them a profit and it's not good enough, and all of a sudden they want uh, they want greater things. Well, that's a good saying. Markets take the stairs up and elevator down, and the elevator sometimes has the lost its cables. there's no cables to the elevator going down. It just kind of just goes. Yeah, that's true. Definitely the case. Whatever analogy you want to put to this thing, you guys are all right. I'm good with it. That's a good analogy, though. Yeah, that's right. So bulls and bears makes money. Pigs get slaughtered. Thank you. I forgot the exact saying, but I appreciate it. But that's true. So true, and that's definitely true in any kind of markets that you trade. And we try to, uh, again, we our methodology here is not crazy. It's achievable. 2 points to 3 points on trades is not a crazy number that uh, doesn't get is achievable on a day-to-day basis, even when markets are slow. Obviously, when markets tend to expand a little bit and the volatility gets brought back in, it obviously is things that will be a little bit different. But that's what happens. Again, I don't know why it goes so slow when the markets go up, but that's what happens. All right. Again, the questions are good. Ask questions. Always feel free to ask questions. I like questions. They seem to help me along, and kind of when there's not much going on, at least I got something to talk about. Because, like I said, we and most of our trades are focused more on the morning hours. Uh, it gets a lot. If you think this is slow, wait to see what happens this afternoon.
Hey, Saul, did you want me to pop in now?
Sure, go nuts. Have a fun time.
Okay.
Do you ever adjust the pivot point? No, the pivot is good for the whole day. That's why it's called a pivot for the day. So the levels are adjusted. That's the levels could be adjusted based on price action, but not the pivot. All right, you got it.
Well, thank you there, Saul. Hey, a quick sound check for everybody. Just wanted to come in with a couple programming notes. Saul's going to have a class today. His class is going to start at 12. Is it 12 Central Time, Saul? Your time? Yeah, 12 Central Time. For those that are interested in Saul's class, if you want to know what the class is about, the first stepping stone here is to join Saul's family as a monthly. You're asking a lot of great questions. Um, the opportunity to come in on a monthly basis gives you the opportunity to be able to A, ask questions, B, be able to get Saul's levels on a daily basis, be able to work with those levels and Saul's commentary during the trading, particularly the trading morning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send out um, the opportunity to sign up to Saul's monthly to individuals here. Harvey, that just came out to you. Jeremy, I'm not sure if you are or not, so I'm going to send it out to you. Jeremy, I'm going to send it out to you right now. Let me know if you got it. Jim F, absolutely you should sign up for Saul's monthly because you're asking great questions and you have a high interest in this. Should be for everybody, right? To make money intraday, scalping the market. Hey, Justin, welcome back. I'll send this out to you also. So you have the opportunity to start coming in again. Luis, I'm going to send it out to you so you don't feel left out. You're more than welcome to join us as part of the family. Michael R., you can let me know, Michael. Robert S. Boy, sometimes I get mixed up because I take the last names out. Um, shorten up everybody's name. Hey, Ron, Roop, Steve P., you're part of it, right? Tim M., I'll send it to you. Now read it so you understand what we're talking about. The other thing I would mention quickly is Saul's having a class day. If you were a student of Saul's and took his mentoring, you're welcome to join the class. The only restriction or caveat is you need to be part of Saul's monthly. So if you have signed up and you have taken Saul's class in 2018, 19, 20, whatever, you can join him in his class during his class time. And you can do that if you're signed up for Saul's current monthly. If you're joining us on the outside, if you want to join us on the inside, look for that link. And actually, you know what I'll do is I'll put out the direct sign up link, or you can go to pitiq.tv. See if I can do that now. Hey, Maureen. So, so we may be able to work that out for you, Jim. I mean, are you part of Saul's monthly? The stepping stone is coming in, become part of Saul's monthly. Then you can set up a trading consultation, find out where you are, where you'd like to be. And then Saul has an intensive that you can sign up for and be part of. Um, then we can talk about that also. Well, that's great. And it's funny, Jim. I think it's interesting because you ask good questions. And Saul took the time to answer him, which is nice, but certainly take the time to sign up for his monthly. And Richard, what would you be sending us? Because I'd have to, we don't do a lot by email, but what is the email for? Yeah, that's Jim. I was thinking that. Saul is, it's like you're talking to somebody that's been involved and currently is involved and is trading right now. He's been doing this for over 25 years. So I would think that his answers and his insights based on the market are pretty good. So thank you. Yeah, Richard, you know what I would do is so the offer that we just sent you is highly favorable to you, and you can probably see that in the offer. So I would just do it and have it in your pocket. And Justin, are you coming back now? You out of your secret location? So I'm not sure if you're signed up for Sol's monthly anymore, are you? I know you had a little bit of a break there. I thought I saw that you weren't, but I could be mistaken. I've been mistaken before. Michael R, let me know. Yeah, you paid in blood, right? You paid in blood. Justin, you were part of his course, right? Yeah, that's right. So you're certainly more than welcome back here. He has a thing that, for that nominal rate, for if you want to start coming back to the classes, just let me know. He's been doing a lot of classes now. It's been a couple times a week. Might help you get back on the horse. And Harvey G. Or Harvey, you signed up for Sal's monthly? Louise, let me know what you're doing. And Richard S., I think you had some great questions today. Hey, Harvey, are you on the fence for a reason? So we're here every day. Next time I see you, Jim, I'll have to help you find your wallet. Hey, Fred L., welcome. For those that are joining us on the outside, we're just doing a little business on the inside. We're here on a daily basis. This is price action trading. Price action trading focused on the S&P 500 E-mini. Hey, Jim, we can talk about that. If you want to become a member of the class, so the first thing you got to do is join the monthly. Second thing you got to do is have a trading consultation, and then we talk about what's involved in the class and what the opportunities are for the class as a separate item. Plus, if you end up, so what's your schedule for work? Are you just off today? You know, one of the things I think is important for everybody to know that Saul is a person that is the only person that does this because he's the one with the experience, the background. He's the one that's currently trading. He's the one that's experiencing the market based on his price action trading, his entries, exits, and stops, how they're working, are they working, what to do to adjust based on current market conditions. And it's all about the ability to make money on a consistent basis and be able to be done for the day. So Saul's been doing this for a while. It started as a request from individuals that wanted. So Saul is a CME Group Floor member. He has a private booth on the trading pits, the trading floor in Chicago. So he's been. So if you don't know anything about the trading pits, you should look it up. Um, if you remember back in the day, Trading Places is a movie. There were some scenes of I believe it was a New York trading pit. Might have been the Comex back in the day. Yeah, so if it turns out that you're interested, Jim, make sure you sign up for the monthly and then we could take it from there. The question was how long we've been doing this service. So this is a graduate roll into Zoom based on technology, but this was an accommodation for individuals that were on the trading floor, the trading pits in Chicago that knew Saul and trusted him to teach their relatives and individuals that some of them didn't want to deal with, and other ones wanted him to be able to teach them the right way and knew Saul was doing the right thing. And then it just grew out of there. At first, he said no, and it took him a while to turn that around, by keep badgering him. And, um, we were on GoToWebinar for a while, but that seemed to be stagnant based on the modern technology. And then we opened up this Zoom room. God, I don't think it's been a year yet. Actually, it might be a year. As we get into like, a year ago was the start of the pandemic, and maybe that didn't really kick in until March, April. But Zoom really got good based on its technology, within this past year anyway. So Harvey, I think that so if you have so if you lay out your day and you're in a trade for a very short period of time, then I think you got a shot. The concept here is how do you circle in? So you're laying out a roadmap for the day, and you could be done right around Saul's pivot or his first couple levels when you get good at this. So I think you have to figure out how to get good at it. Now that takes practice and time. The morning session is really a concentrated session I would say you need about 2 hours during the morning session. So Saul gives out his levels, or you can learn how to set the levels in his class or his intensive, on your own. He sets them at 9:30 Eastern time. I talk Eastern, he talks Central time. 9:30 Eastern time. And then the market is going to either move or not move, where you don't have to wait around all day. So you might pick better spots based on the trading day, based on momentum follow through and trade action, and be able to do a couple trades while you have some time. But I think you'd have to allocate that time the best you can to be able to concentrate, um, at least for the first hour of trading, and maybe bleed into 2 hours. But if you're done in the first hour, you're done. If you bank $100, you bank 200, depending on contract size, as you get better at price action trading. You call it Sol's price action trading. That's the taught item in his class. And individuals like to get better levels, so they will ask Sol what levels he's using. And those are the levels that he gives out to those that are part of his monthly. So I would do the monthly at a minimum to grab the time you need, because it's such a value proposition. And then just come and go as you please. But I wouldn't push it. And that's, I think, really important, is that you'll notice that the market will really come to you if you're patient. And patience is tough sometimes. So this is a lesson in patience for those that can grab it. So I would definitely do that. Jim F., it sounds like you don't have a problem at all. And Richard S., you should grab that rate also. Tim M., just let me know what you're doing, how you're doing. Michael R., how you doing? And Jeremy. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it's a good idea for you. And you do have a lot to consider, so you should take the time and consider it wisely. And Fred L., Fred, let me know what you're doing. Have any questions? What you're trading? How you making out? That's the other important thing, is how are you making out? Hey, Anupam. Anupam, let me know if you need anything. Hey, Chris J., welcome. Anupam, if you need a readout on the levels. Anybody missed the levels, I can help you by giving them back out to you. Let's see if I can find them here. I think they came out a couple times earlier. That's great. Thank you. So and I'll just read them out anyway. These are the areas that Saul is looking at for his own trading, and it sets up a roadmap for your trading so that you can be prepared for the price action in and around those levels, and the opportunity to start to really understand the movement of price in and around Saul's levels, and how that can benefit you in your trading. So when he lays out his levels, it's right around the cash open. He lays out a pivot. So his pivot today was 38.96. 38.96. He had support at 87, 80, 74, 68, and 61. Resistance at 01, 09, 15, 21, and 28. I can't impress upon you enough to lay out those levels in your software so that you are interested and intensified in and around his levels so that you can start to understand the action of price and how it relates to not only price movement, but the entries, exits, and stops, your trades in and around those levels. If you can just do that in an orderly and patient fashion, and you pick your days based on what's happening in the market based on price movement, and not force yourself to have to do trades to make money, is very important. You know, the act of sitting in front of your computer and trading is an act, but it should be a disciplined act and a thoughtful act and a act that centers around, what would you call it? You would call it money management. You would call it, boy, I'm losing my thought here when it comes to, so you're coming into, so I'll explain what it is and it'll come to me. Is you're coming into the 9:30 bell. So risk management based on your the amount of money in your account and your trading talent. You know, there are people that come in with a lot of money in their account, but they have no trade talent, so they lose it. They lose it slowly or they lose it pretty quickly over time. So the slowly part is the over time, and the quickly is, they just think they got enough money to continually trade and hope that they'll come out okay before their money's gone. Too often it happens that the money starts to get tight, then they start to overtrade and panic, and then their money's gone because they think they have to, they do. They have to try to get their money back or they're done as far as their trading, and they make bad decisions. So Saul's roadmap and TikTok is something that you might be interested in, and I'll go through it. Is that Saul sets himself up for the trading day by going to his screens right around 9:30, and then he identifies these areas which he calls levels as opportunity points for this morning's trade. It's as simple as that. How he selects his levels is teachable, so he can teach it to you in his intensive. He gives them out to everybody that's a monthly as part of a delivery point based on the value of the monthly. So his levels of today are worth money. And they're worth money because they're good levels, but we let you decide that on your own. They're valuable levels because they can work really well based on the trades that you do in and around those levels. So it's a deliverable based on your monthly that you pay for. That's why you transition from a guest to the monthly, because you start to realize that A, Sal's commentary is great and he's helping you in your trading endeavor. And his levels are great because they're usable based on the intraday trade. And those are the areas that he lays out for you based on those specific levels. But it's a taught experience. So the first thing you do is you come in as a guest, you transition into a monthly, and then you learn, you listen, you ask questions, you see how the market behaves at Sol's levels. If you need to know how to load them in, let us know. Monthlies get the opportunity to ask that question. You can also have a private trading consultation in addition to Sol's commentary and his levels. And then you want to talk about Sol's intensive. So that's really it in a nutshell. It's a focused opportunity to learn how to make money based on a couple hours a day, morning session. And I can tell you, people say make money a couple hours a day, and they do say that. But what I think that means in this case is that Saul has identified a period of time after the morning bell, the 9:30 bell, where momentum, trade action, volume, trade follow through, momentum happens on a regular basis after the bell. I mean, some days no, some days it's crazy. So there's a risk assessment to be made after the morning bell. Saul makes it for himself. You should make it for yourself based on the status of your account, how the market is behaving, and what kind of a day is it for your trading. Now, that's a business decision based on your trading account, based on your uh, learning curve. Where are you on the learning curve? Should you just be in simulation until you get this right? Are you just coming out of simulation with one contract against Saul's methodology? And how are you working your way out to consistent profitability? This is a discipline. So this is your start of your discipline. So that's what we do. I mean, discipline is key. Discipline is, like in any business, is a key to success. And if you think about it, would you be better off opening any business having somebody help you not fall into the pitfalls that they fell into, or learn by the experience of having a business on what to do, no matter what business it is? And how much would you pay that individual to help you? That's why people buy franchises, because there's a roadmap of, whatever that franchise is offering based on plant and equipment and staffing and, the rules and regulations and the local zoning laws and, the stepping stone to building, a franchise, whether it's a brick and mortar franchise or a, online franchise. Trading is similar. You want somebody to teach you how to be a difference between a gambler and a professional gambler. And do you have the discipline to be able to do that? And are you willing to do what it takes to do it? The fee structure here is so nominal that sometimes I wonder, because I think even today was an amazing, um, question and answer period, for those that are guests and part of Saul's monthly and his students. And I think that in the answers that he gave were answers that you would get from somebody who is extremely experienced and giving you the true information. He's giving you his truth that he has learned over these years of being up against it on the trading floor in Chicago, up against my opinion is the best traders in the world. So that's who you're dealing with. That's who is speaking to you. So it's just not some individual on the internet in their basement somewhere. Saul is Saul, and he's at a undisclosed location. Could be in his basement, but he's usually on the trading floor in Chicago at his private booth that he earned the right to be at based on his skill and his discipline and his tenacity. And that's the type of thing that it takes to be a consistently profitable trader over time. So anyway, so that's the offer, that's the opportunity. So if you haven't signed up for Sal's Monthly, raise your hand and I will send you out the opportunity. If we don't hear from people, we just keep, I shouldn't say we kick you out. We ease you out with a couple clicks, and you end up in Zoom prison. And I don't think you want to do that. Zoom has a very bad place, and I know nobody wants to go there. Hey, Roop, you already raised your hand. I mean, you're already part of Sol's monthly. You're talking about Sol's class? If you're interested in Sol's class, let me know because you're a monthly. You can have that opportunity. But you are already oh, okay. You want to hear about his class? Now he's having a class today at 1 Eastern, 12 Central. So I could probably get you in that class if it's something that you want to do. So I'm going to give you everybody out our telephone number. Write this down, okay? Just so you end up in Zoom prison, we can get you out. It's 312. What is it? 685 2582. That's 312 685 2582. And the Zoom prison is for individuals that come in for a while and don't pay. That means you're taking advantage of the service and you should pay the nominal rate that is offered as out of respect. So make sure you have that number handy. We can get you out of it. Got to plead your case. But, the doctor of trading distress is the judge and jury. And he or she does ask a lot of pointed questions based on your release. So, Rue, post your telephone number and we'll ring you up. I think I do have it on my trading pad somewhere. Tim M, let me know what you're doing. Richard S, Robert S, Michael R, Justin, welcome back. Harvey, I know your story. Thank you for that. Fred L, Chris J. Let me know, Chris. I don't think I sent anything to you. I can send it to you now so you at least know what I'm talking about. And Roop, if you want, you can call that 312 number. 312 685 2582. Yeah, just call that. That'll find me. I think it bounces around a few satellites and through a few private IPs, through a couple VPNs. Then it rings at a neighbor's house, and then they forward it over. And again, if you like what we're doing here, tell your friends. For those that are joining us on the outside, join us on the inside. Use the pitiq.tv, the pitiq.tv. So Sol will be popping out. Right now it's pretty close to 12 noon. Around 12 noon we exit the outside. So don't hesitate to come on the inside. And I hope everybody had a profitable morning session. And go off and do something else now. You're free to enjoy your day. And again, if you want to know how to do that, just let us know and join our monthly, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you. Hey, Ben, appreciate Ben is part of our monthly, and he said he's learning something new every day. Now that is a very good thing. Thank you, Ben. And Ben just joined us last week. Came in as a guest, switched to a monthly, and he gets a gold star today because he said that. And we appreciate it. And Saul appreciates, he'll see that when he pops back in. He's really the one. I'm his tip of the sword. And I appreciate all the wonderful feedback and the developing, well, the current and developing friendships in and around trading and making money. We're here for you on both sides of the equation, the making money side and the trades that don't work, and how to help you on the next trade to help it work. So I'll be around the background. Don't hesitate to post, and we'll take it from there.